Rejection of the truth, Jesus is Lord.
God is an all-consuming fire, burning away all false desires.
Yeah, he's gonna burn it away.
Hello, brothers and sisters, and welcome back to the book of Ephesians, where we're looking at the dangers of twisting the Bible all out of context. We've already started, and we're going to continue, and you're going to see there's a lot of those verses and passages in Ephesians that are taken way out of context, meaning so many different things. Now, I'm going to touch on certain passages and subjects that you might disagree with. Maybe you were taught differently about these passages. And I'm not here to say, I'm right, you're wrong, but let's look at the text in its context. Let's just read the Bible. And the first one I want to touch at is the danger of lying. Paul does talk about lying in chapter 4, but I've heard how this one verse has been used to attack all kinds of lying, and I don't think the verse 25 has anything to do with any of that. So here's the verse. Therefore, having put away falsehood, let each one of you speak the truth with his neighbor, for we are members of one another. Well, there you go. You shouldn't be lying at work to your boss. You shouldn't be having little white lies. Don't hide the truth from your wife, even if, like saying she's not fat or any of that. Just don't do that, because Paul clearly says you can't lie. Well, that's not what the verse is actually teaching. I'm not doing an in-depth study on lying and truth in the Bible. I'm saying, what is this verse saying? He's talking about the fact that we've put away falsehood. The idea here of falsehood, the word, it really speaks of hypocrisy. It speaks of deceit, purposely trying to deceive people. We put that away. That's why he talks about speaking truth with his neighbor. Who is his neighbor in this text? Well, he tells us we are members of one another. He's talking about the church, the family of God. That among the family of God, there must be honesty and truth and transparency. That we are not to put on masks and pretend, but we are to be honest and true to one another. A little bit like a human body, if certain parts of the body is lying, if you will, if the pain receptors are telling you that there's pain, then you get hurt. That's what leprosy is when the pain receptors don't work and people get hurt because there's no signal telling them, don't touch this, it's burning you, stop it, get away, and then they get hurt. That's what leprosy does. And that's the kind of stuff that Paul is aiming at here in verse 25. He's aiming at the danger of, if the body of Christ is not honest with one another, each member, then there could be serious damage going on. So this has nothing to do with the outside world, about not lying to your boss or anything like that, or how you deal with your wife. This has to do with this idea of take off your mask and be real with one another. Be in a relationship where we're trying to really help one another, and that will be done through honesty, truth. I would say the demand is far greater than just don't lie, but that's just me. I think it's much more harder to put off the mask and to be honest with one another in a Christian community where there is judgment. But that does seem what Paul is getting at. So, feel free to disagree, but I would say read the text for yourself. See what Paul is getting at. But that's it, brothers and sisters.
Somebody come on.
The Lord of the mountains and rocks to be falling. Please don't refuse the one who's calling you.
He's calling you.